Here we're going to go through how to set up the DVR. First we start booting up and we're forced to set an admin username. It must be 8 characters or more, and it needs to have 3 categories of numbers: uppercase, lowercase, and special characters. Enter your password in a second time to confirm, and then you can right click and log in to the menu. Enter in the password, and then we're going to start in the main menu under System, and we're going to set the time and date, daylight savings time, time zone, and we can do time sync if we want as well. Then permission management, we can create user groups and give different permissions of what they're allowed to do, which cameras they're allowed to view, for live view, search, backup, and what menus they can access. Once we have groups created, we can then create users and assign those users to each group. Here you can see we're filtering the user list. To add a new account, just fill in the information and select the group. And the setup screen allows us to restrict which settings require login versus being able to view without a login. From there we go to the device screen and camera, and we can enable or disable each channel, enable audio if we need. We can change the camera name or title. And set a dwell time per camera if we're sequencing through the cameras, and view the type. Is it an HD or SD camera? We can then set privacy zones. We can draw a box on the screen, specify the grid to block out certain parts of the screen, and specify if each camera is a PTZ camera and if it's using coaxial control for PTZ or fixed cameras, and what protocol to use. Then from there we can go to the monitor and adjust the on-screen display, the monitor, event display should cameras pop up automatically, and which output modes to view on the spot monitors, which cameras to include on there, and should it show a single camera, multi-screen, sequence, things like that. You can see this recorder has 2 spot monitor outputs. And under mode, you can enable or disable specific patterns of screens. And then the record menu, recording schedule. This is where we tell the recorder when to record and how to record. Should it record continuously or event only? Typically, if you're doing continuous, you want the both option. So that should be the green. If you want motion only recording, it should be the blue. This is per camera, so make sure you hit apply to all if you wanted that to apply to all the camera channels. Then we go to event record duration, and we tell it how long to record before and after each event, such as motion detection, happens. And you notice you can click on the arrow drop down at the top to apply to all channels. Record quality, you'll see we can specify for standard recording and event. So standard is your continuous recording. We can choose the resolution and the frame rate and the quality. And you'll see it shows again the type. Is it an HD camera? And the same thing for event. When motion or other events happen, how should it record? Make sure that you change the resolution appropriately. Next, under event motion detection, we can enable motion detection, set a sensitivity, alarm output, and alarm duration. And then most importantly, specify a region. The zone in yellow is where it will look for motion. You can draw one or more zones as needed or select the whole screen. And then you can apply to all channels again. Then from there, we can go to the network menu and we can adjust the IP address and transfer bandwidth. That should be set to unlimited. The default is 2 megabits, which is really slow. Set your IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS, all of that. The ports, the recorder uses port 4520 through 4524 by default, plus port 80. If you're using other web browsers, it also uses those additional ports shown at the bottom. And then finally, if you want to use DDNS, we have a free DDNS included. You can enable that. You type in a product ID, such as here, training123. You have to create that account and associate your recorder to that product ID on the website first. The Quick Connect attempts to use universal plug and play for port forwarding. And then finally, set your live transfer resolution for network viewing. The default is pretty low resolution.